pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let the minutes show that all are present. Verification of proper public notice.
The meeting was properly noticed and published.
Okay, any public comment on items not on the agenda? If not, the minutes from the April 1st board meeting need to be approved.
I have one very small change that Ted made me aware of after the fact. The fourth paragraph that starts with discussion and possible action to enact a mask mandate for the town hall. The second to the last line says Supervisor Vratney. I forgot to write the word moved in, so I'm going to insert that in. Other than that, I don't think we found anything else.
I noticed that, but I assumed that he made the motion, so.
Yeah, that was a safe assumption to make.
I could have said something else, you know.
Yeah. Any other changes or corrections? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion's made and seconded to approve the minutes from the April 1st town board meeting as written, with the change in the fourth paragraph that puts Ted Vratney into making the motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. And now the minutes from the April 27th special town board meeting. Any changes or corrections?
You guys have to do it. Jimmy and I weren't here.
I wasn't here.
Yeah, I wasn't either.
I'll move to approve the minutes of April 27th.
I'll second.
Okay, motion's made and seconded to approve the minutes from the April 27th special town board meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We got two of these, huh? Okay. Police chief's report.
Oh, we've got
Oh.
one more.
Oh, did I miss one?
Yeah, the 20th.
Oh,
The regular
Okay,
town board
yeah.
meeting.
The regular town board meeting minutes from April 20th. Sorry, I got you up, chief.
There were a lot of minutes to write.
Any changes or corrections?
I'll move to approve the minutes of the April 20th town board meeting.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded to approve the minutes from the April 20th town board meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Now, police chief's report.
Good evening, everyone. It's quiet in PD, not much going on. Activity has been slow by officers. Overtime in Waterloo is killing the patrol for me right now, because they're funneling it up there. They're short-staffed, so they're picking up between the sergeant and the captain, working full-time up there. They're busy, busy, busy. One other officers, he's a teacher, he's adopted some kids now, and his family life is changing a little bit, so we'll see where that goes. But there's more bad news. We lost Jared. Officer Foyt has accepted and is now working for Mayville PD full-time, which I did expect. That somebody was going to pick him up pretty quick. I've left his badge number with him at this time, leaving him on the payroll. After a year of probation, he is allowed to come back. I feel very strongly about the young man. I think he's an asset to the agency and to the town. And I've already told him that when you're done with probation, if you'd like to come back, let's have a sit down. And I'd like to get him back. I'm hoping that's the case. Of course, after a year of working full-time, he may say, yeah, part-time's not my shtick anymore. But for young officers, usually they want to come back. So I'd like to keep that opportunity to keep a good staff member on the PD. With that, I've got an interview scheduled for Saturday morning. I've got a young lady coming in for a position to fill Jared's void. She's looking to work part-time. She was an officer for 5 years in Fitchburg, I believe. Background investigation went very well. Everybody spoke highly of her. So I'm looking forward to having a sit down with her. I'm going to have probably one of the sergeants from the township of Lake Mills sit in on the interview with me rather than having my sergeant or my captain, because they're both somewhat familiar with this young lady, and I don't want any conflict of interest, because if I decide she's not a good fit and don't offer a job, I don't want them, feeling one or the other had something to do with it. It's totally my decision. And if they got a beef, then they can bring it to me. But right now, everything looks like she'll probably be a good fit for us. But again, after I get down, have a sit down with her, get a better idea, we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
So possibly next month, it may be on the agenda to swear in another new officer. So that's where we are on that. Speaking of new officers, the boating officer has all but completed the academy, and Sergeant Warner has been in contact with them. They're going to start getting some things ready with the boat and get out. We're still waiting for the storage to open up down at the marina so we can move the boat down there, and still waiting for the new computer and stanchion to get put in so that we can do more work on the water rather than having to come back here for an hour and do paperwork. Do it right out there, which makes more sense. But Sergeant Warner's been right on top of that, so kudos to him for what he's done. And that Captain Tom's been busy with the adding information into what's called a CADIS. That's the system that monitors all of our training, make sure that we're all staying up to snuff. I was trying to get on it this morning, and the website's changed since the last time I was on it. My computer skills, not that strong. But I got partially into it, and then the whole system collapsed. So me and anybody else that was on it were in the same boat, so I got to go back at it later. But that's just life's in the computer and that. And other than that, yeah, that's all I got for notes. That's what I got for you.
Okay, any questions for Chief?
Nice.
Hey, you said you would hire me, so my application's coming in.
I want to see a Marine Corps high in
Gee, how much do you want? Not so far.
Well, if you can't afford it, Jimmy, I got a Clippers at
Yeah,
home. I mean, this baby
I
can,
have one too.
they can cut her real short. So that's one of the qualifications is high and tight?
High and tight.
Oh, okay. Okay, clerk treasurer's report.
Okay, well, we have a lot that has been going on. The Legislative Audit Bureau, the State Legislative Audit Bureau, reached out to every clerk in Wisconsin by direction of the legislature to see how elections went last year. And so I had a 35-minute Zoom call with them, it was like a week and a half ago, where they did a lot of listening and I did a lot of talking, and it went really, really well. I was really pleased with that. It's part of the legislature's gathering information about what happened in the 2020 election. So it was a really cool experience for me. They were very happy to talk to me about it. They've been talking to a bunch of my colleagues as well. So that was really just kind of cool to go through. And I don't know if it's related or not, but the United States Government Accountability Office sent me an email at the end of last week, and they're sending me a survey. Oakland has been chosen as one of 800 municipalities across the entire country to talk about last year's elections. So I don't know how that happened. I think that's pretty cool too. So I'm still waiting to get that survey, but once I get that, I'll take it and we'll see where that goes. But it's outside of that, the office has been pretty quiet. Most of you guys know I graduated over the weekend. I am now officially a master's prepared person. I did keep my 4.0.
Good to hear.
So, yay for me. I'm still perfect in that. As a part of that, and I sent an email to the board, I will be leaving at the end of the summer. My wife has accepted a job at Toro University in Las Vegas, so we're moving. But I don't have one yet because I've been too busy working on my schoolwork. But I am fully expecting to be here through the end of the summer. Our drop dead move date is Labor Day weekend, so don't say goodbye now because it's not the time. But I've still got a list of things that I want to accomplish before I go. It's just kind of, with school and everything, it's just been kind of my head's been all over the place. But I let Jean know, I don't know, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago?
A couple weeks, yeah.
A couple weeks ago, so It's public, it's not a secret or anything, but this is going to be a hard place to leave, but I'm going to save that speech for later.
You can't commute, I told you that.
Well, we have the VPN now, so I could work from home. It's just that home would be 2 time zones away, that's all.
You'd have to work on Central Time.
I'd have to work on Central Time, I would.
You're hard to get out of bed the way it is.
I am hard to get out of bed as it is. Next week, we have a rule in our house, whenever you graduate, you get to go on vacation somewhere. So we're going to be on vacation next week. We're going to Disney World. I'm very excited. And then just to give you a little eye as to what's going on, as soon as we get back, we're listing our house for sale. So, we get to relax for a little while, but then clean the house out and get it ready to sell and all that stuff. So things are moving along personally. As far as the office goes, it's actually been pretty quiet over the past couple of weeks. Board of review is tomorrow, so at 5 o'clock from 5 to 7, so be here for that. We have the tax roll. We have nobody signed up tomorrow for anything, and people can always walk in, but other than that, it seems to be pretty quiet. So I'm trying to see if there's anything else I left out. I think that's it.
Any questions for Chris?
Congratulations on your
Congrats.
masters.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's an accomplishment.
That is one way to look at it. It is an accomplishment. It is. I'm glad it's over.
Okay, next item, discussion and possible action on a request from RNRS Trust for a conditional use permit to build an on-site storage structure at W9212 Ripley Road. Parcel number 022-0613-0821-012. Somebody here from that address? Yep.
We're looking to put on an addition to our existing garage, the 14 by 30 proposed addition. I think everybody's got the survey map with the sketch of where the addition will be onto the garage. And another hand sketch one on another piece of paper showing the garage and the addition on there where that'll be placed. Reason we're looking at that is due to the size of the yard, we need to attach it to the garage to stay away from the easement on the east side of the yard. And that would put us over the, 1,000 square foot, I think is the number for a building, and we'd come out at 1,092 if I remember correctly. So that's what we're looking for, that conditional use permit for the extensive storage, I think it's called.
So it's actually attached to the existing garage?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Because of this, because of the easement on the right of way on the side of the lot there's nowhere for us to go that far over.
Mhm.
So we got to attach it to the current garage. Plus we want to make it look nice and keep it more attractive than a detached building.
Planning committee?
Planning committee reviewed it. This is one of those unusual non-conforming lots, and so it's a little bit of a challenge for how they laid it out, but overall it comes in and will work on that property and under the 30% limit. We've talked about drainage, we're good. So the planning committee recommends approval.
Okay. I'll make a motion to accept the conditional use permit for the storage structure of 1,092 square feet, R1 zone at W9212 Ripley Road.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion's made and seconded to approve the request from RNRS Trust for a conditional use permit to build an on-site storage structure at W9212 Ripley Road. Any further discussion? If not, I'll call the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, thank you.
Richard, I have this piece of paper I fill out. I send that to the county tomorrow morning, and then you're done with us, so.
Great, they'll contact me clearly.
They will. Yeah, they will.
Thank you.
You bet.
Okay, next item, discussion and possible action on a request from Sean Heaslip for a conditional use permit to build an on-site structure at W9066 Lakeview Drive, parcel number 022-0613-0813-043. Sean?
Yeah, so I'm looking to build a 24 by 40 detached structure in the back of my lot, the end of my driveway. I'm looking to go above the 15-foot height restriction to 18 to accommodate a 10-foot overhead door, so that I have a camper that'll fit underneath the 10-foot door, and my boat will fit underneath the 10-foot door. And that's where I'm looking for primary storage for those two to go in the back, and then my truck as well to go in there. And I'm also a non-conforming lot, so I'm going 5 foot off the side lot to the sidewall, and then the back lot's on a radius. I'm like 11 foot and 14 feet, I believe, from the two corners. And then it'll match my house. It'll be red with a steel roof on it. Yeah.
That back lot line runs at an angle there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's on a radius. It's kind of a strange lot line.
What's behind that?
As far as
It's the back lot of Beach, the
Yeah.
extension of Beach. to the
Okay,
east.
okay.
it's just someone else's
So
backyard.
Yeah.
it's a residential.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things we talked about with Sean at the committee, was to make sure that as best he can to make it more in keeping with what his residents look like, and so it isn't a pole barn kind of thing, that it fits into the neighborhood. And given that I can see this out of my front window.
You are opine on it
So,
How do you feel about it, Ted?
you know, I'm fine, you know, so.
Probably have to excuse him from
I better ask my
voting.
brother.
Maybe.
I better ask my brother.
Yeah, gotta keep up with your brother.
Yeah, we all have to build to keep up with your brother.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing too with it is I'm trying to match my current attached garage has a 10-foot overhead, so they'll both be kind of parallel or right next to each other. So they'll be matching, and then my roof line, my eaves will kind of match up too if I go with the height that I'm going with.
Okay.
Same height as the house, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Yep. I mean, within a foot of one another. So. And there's a little bit of a back slope in my lot, so I'm going with a frost wall around the backside.
And Plan Committee again recommends approval.
I see that. Okay, any other questions for Sean?
I'll make the motion to approve the conditional use permit for the on-site storage, 18 feet high, 900 square feet, residential R1 at W9066 Lakeview Drive.
Second.
Okay, motion's made and seconded to approve the request from Sean Heaslip for a conditional use permit to build an on-site structure at W9066 Lakeview Drive. Basically, it's a height adjustment. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thanks, Sean.
Thank you.
And you'll get that over to the county.
Yeah, same thing with Richard. I'll get these over tomorrow morning. Can I just have you sign there and there real quick?
Okay, next item is discussion and possible action on the regulation and operation of ATVs and UTVs on town roads. I understand the county has now approved.
Yeah, what happened April 23rd, 2001, it went into effect. County adopted ordinance 2021-1, allowing the use of ATVs and UTVs on all county roads, meaning the county trunk highways. Township roads are still off limits for them unless it's a joint road. But the county authorized that. This has been on the radar for a while with the ATVs and the UTVs. Recently, I had received 2 phone calls, people asking about the operation on township roads, both here and in the town of Lake Mills. So I did a little scratching and find that several of our townships allow them to run on their township roads. So my thought is bring it to your attention. If you want to act on it tonight, yay. If not, postpone it until next month or whatever. I can do a little more research, see what other townships in the area are doing. From what I can tell, it's becoming a popular thing to allow them to operate on the roadways. My concern is that the golf cart community is going to jump up and down and say, well, why not us? Well, it's because the state statutes don't allow it, and the county is adopting the state statutes and the DNR code to operate and regulate the operation, because they do have to be licensed, they have to have brake lights, headlights, and they're restricted in operation after 10 PM. They cannot be on the roads in that. So with the county adoption, they also require that the operator have a valid Wisconsin driver's license or out-of-state driver's license. They do have to be insured for liability purposes as well, just like a motor vehicle, your regular car or pickup truck. So I wanted to throw this out here so you've got, at least an idea of what's happening in the countywide. Talking to some of my colleagues at the county and other townships and that, no one's had any real problem with the ATVs or UTVs running on the road. They stay off to the right where they're supposed to be. They don't create any problems. We have one township that actually has an established private UTV, ATV trail running through it, but that's private, so it's not anything that we deal with. But they do come down one of the county trunks to get to one of their local watering holes outside of Jefferson. But myself, I don't see it as a big problem. I don't think we're gonna have any issues. I know another chief that he is just absolutely dead set against us. He doesn't want him in his city. Well, by how the ordinance is written, he doesn't have to let him in the city, so he's kind of banging the gong for no reason, but that's just
Well,
how
the
he is.
city of Lake Mills don't allow them in.
Yeah, City of Lake Mills, City of Jefferson probably is gonna be the other one that won't.
Right.
Bruce,
This has been moving from north to south.
Yeah.
2 years ago at one of our at our district meetings, I had a conversation. I had to be sitting at a table with Rock County people, and that it just passed up there. And, we had a discussion about it. It has not been a problem up there. It hasn't been a problem in the town of Waterloo. Hasn't been a problem in the town of Lake Mills to this point. So we're next.
Yeah, it's heading south.
Bruce,
Yeah, it's just heading
these
south.
have to be licensed?
Yes, they have to be licensed, just like if they're riding on the state ATV trails. The license actually is a hard fixed license plate
Okay.
that they can attach somewhere to the back where it's visible. They get their registration number, they still have a sticker they put on the machine, but they buy these kits, which is the plastic ore. When I had an ATV, I just cut a piece of plastic, drilled some holes in it, put the stickers on for my number, and I was legit. And that's all it takes.
I can see that being really useful, especially in the wintertime, because a lot of people go out on the lake fishing in the winter, and they take their ATV, of course, down the road to get to the lake. So, I mean, what are you gonna do, sit there and give them all tickets? No, obviously we haven't. We've talked about this many
Yeah,
times in the
yeah,
past.
yeah.
Either I start giving everybody tickets, or we let them do it. Well, we just let them do it, so we might wanna make it legal.
As I've always said, whether it's ATVs, UTVs, or, the before mentioned golf carts, mind your manners, don't get my attention.
Right.
We'll be fine and dandy. You get my attention, I will be down there with a squad constantly,
Right.
and I'll put an end to it.
Well, it's my
we-
understanding you can do the same with the golf cart, too. You can get a license for a golf cart, right?
You can, but it has to meet those certain requirements,
Right.
taillights, headlights, et cetera. I know a couple, but,
We have a golf cart ordinance, but they have to be street legal
Right.
to do it. Not that around the lake, they necessarily pay much attention to that,
Yeah.
Right.
but
yeah.
we haven't had any issues either. So
Right. Yeah.
I think this is something we definitely should consider. Maybe we get a copy of the Jefferson County ordinance, so we can put an ordinance together with that same language in it, so we comply with that. That's basically what they did in Rock County.
Here's the handoff.
No, nobody gets out of here.
I think what Rock County did, at least with the people that I was sitting at the table with, is the county had an ordinance, that township approved it using the county ordinance language.
Yeah.
So
We
there
could do the
isn't a
same thing.
difference, yeah.
Yeah, we could do the
And
same.
that's, frankly, that's what you should do.
Captain Toma had given me a proposal a couple of months back when this was first kind of surfacing, and he had an idea of regulating the use of the ATVs and UTVs by having them have to register with the township, so it'd be an added fee to them to operate. And I scratched my head, I said, well, now we're getting into registration of the machine, someone's gotta handle that money, we've gotta keep record, no, this isn't something I'm really excited
I think
about.
that's just,
Knowing
a-
that this was coming,
yeah, that's
wouldn't
just a
matter.
step that's unnecessary.
yeah, that's kind of,
Bruce, if they're on DNR trails, do they have to be licensed and of
Yes.
age in
Yep.
order to operate it?
Yep,
So-
on the
so, I mean,
DNR trails.
There's not going to be a difference between somebody going down a DNR trail and coming out on a road?
No.
Okay.
yeah, everything is the same
Okay.
under chapter 23.
I think it's a good idea. I think if we follow that county ordinance as close as we can, alter the language to say the township instead of the county and do those kind of edits, I'm fine. I think it's good.
Want to have it ready for June?
Yeah, well, we gotta get a motion first.
Yeah, I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to accept the ATV, UTV in the township of Oakland, and comparing it to the county, was it the ordinance? County
Ordinance.
ordinance?
Yeah.
For the regulation of ATV,
Yeah.
UTVs.
Make the proper edits, and I guess we got to bring it back to the next meeting? or-
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think I'll second what Jimmy said.
Yeah.
You know,
I think I'm gonna watch
Spit
the
it out,
video
spit it out.
to find out what that motion was, but I get it. I smell what you're stepping in. I do.
I'm not gonna ask him to repeat that.
please don't, because I'm not sure.
We all-
what
Feel
I
free to
seconded.
edit it.
Okay, any further discussion? Jimmy didn't know it was his turn in the barrel tonight.
Everybody's D in the cage.
If not, I'll call the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Chris has had several phone calls, and I've had a couple that were wondering why regular golf carts can't run on the town roads.
Yeah.
Standard answer, but not necessarily happy people when they get off the phone.
I know.
Okay, next item, discussion and possible action on county road aid petition money for 2021. For those of you that may or may not remember what that is we get matching funds from the county, and the amount we pay is
That.
$5,036.
Yep.
And then next year, we'll have $10,072 available to use. This is a good use of the gas tax money that the county gets. That's basically what that is.
Yeah, I'll make a motion, we accept the petition for county highway aid.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion's made and seconded to approve the petition for county highway aid in the amount of $5,036. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Discussion and possible action, I gotta get to that. Discussion and possible action on a request from Cambridge Community Activities Program to limit traffic on Park Road and Ripley Road to US Highway 12 for the Cambridge Tri, which we've done now, 3-4 years in a row?
Not last year.
Not, well,
Not
that's
last
right,
year,
last year we,
Last year was the
Right.
bump in the road, so to
Right.
speak, but we shut down basically half of the width of Park Road, because I don't want to shut it down completely.
Right.
People really like to drive on the road they pay taxes on, but they do a real good job about monitoring themselves, we've never had an issue, they do a good job picking up afterwards, they go out and pick up any trash that was dumped or whatever, and
yeah.
they've got crews out there watching, bringing water to people if they get a little dehydrated or whatever, so it's not a real big deal.
I'll make a motion that we approve the request from the Cambridge Community Activity Program to limit traffic on Park Road from Ripley Road to US Highway 12 for the Cambridge Tri.
Second.
Okay, motion's made and seconded to approve the request from the Cambridge Community Activities Program to limit traffic on Park Road and Ripley Road to US Highway 12 for their annual Cambridge Tri. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Next item, discussion and discusussion and an update from the Cambridge Fire Commission Building Committee.
What about
What's
the
that?
draft?
You want to go back to the audit?
Audit.
Oh, it's not on here.
Number 11.
Number 11?
Oh, sorry.
It's all right.
Yeah, I thought I thought that was on here.
It's on there.
I just zipped right past it. Okay, discussion and possible action on the draft 2020 audit. I don't know if you all got a chance to go through it. I went through it. I didn't see really anything that, there was a couple suggestions that were made last year, and we did those, and this year it looks pretty clean.
Yeah, there's a couple things, I'm just gonna talk real briefly about it. Chief has the ATV account, and the auditors noted that my name as clerk treasurer is not on that account. It's not about you, Chief. It's very bad to have one account tied to only an individual, just for control purposes. So assuming you guys approve the draft, that's something that we'll work together with, is it Badger Bank?
Yeah, we've already done it.
I don't know that we have. I don't think my name's on it. I'll have to check, but I don't think my name's on
My
it.
attention probably last year.
I thought we
and
did.
it made sense to make it so.
Maybe we did.
I thought we
Maybe-
did last year.
Maybe I need to check with the auditors then, because they put that in there that it was still that, so I'll follow up on that. But either way, either it's taken care of or it will be taken care of.
Or buy me an ATV.
Or buy an ATV and close the account.
Well, yeah, I could do that.
The other thing that
Yeah.
was kind of talked about was boat launch receipts, and I think Chief and I, just between the two of us, he's got his officers, and then I have the code for the cash box in case, because we're down a couple officers, in case we need to collect them. We have more control over that now, so there's not that there's any mistrust of any of the police officers, but it's just less hands in the cookie jar, which is better for everybody. Those are tracked by Susan when she does the deposits, and overall, but besides that, I mean, we're in a pretty good spot. The one thing that Jeff did remind me of is that since we are buying a plow truck with cash, he's like, that's a lot of money. And I said, I know, the town board knows, they approved it. I don't know if he missed that in the minutes or just was doing his due diligence, but I just let him know, yeah, that's an expected expense. It will probably happen end of this year, maybe first part of next year, but he wanted to just make us aware that that's a lot of cash to fly out the door. But other than that, I mean, he talked to me, he talked to you.
Yeah.
I mean, no issues.
It's money we were kind of saving for that type of thing, the big ticket item.
So, this, presuming you guys approve this tonight, I'll get back to Jeff, and then he'll get me the two bound copies as the final copies. We'll keep in the office. So, you can keep these if you want, or give them back to me and I can shred them or burn them.
You want a motion to approve the draft?
Right.
So moved.
I thought I heard one.
Second.
Okay, motion's made and seconded to approve the draft of the 2020 audit done by Johnson Block and Company. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. I think I got to sign this letter too, don't I?
You might.
Do you have an original or?
Go ahead, I'll pull it out. I'll pull it out. Yeah. I think I have to sign it too.
Yeah, we both have to.
Yeah. You keep that one.
Okay, discussion and an update from the Cambridge Fire Commission Building Review Committee.
Okay, we had a meeting last Thursday evening at the fire station, which was our first meeting. We got off to a little bit of a rough start because there was an issue as to whether or not it was a meeting that needed notice, and so it got off to a rough start. We've since resolved that we're going to just give notices whether or not it's required, but I've subsequently, based on direction from Gene, gotten an opinion that says yes, we are, and so we will be functioning under that.
I have to take the blame for that. because I assumed that was an ad hoc committee, because it's a work committee. They're not making decisions. They would come with recommendations, and that's all. But the way the Towns Association attorney explained, we had members appointed by governmental bodies, this one and the other 5 municipalities, so that made that a governmental body.
That and the
And
fact
it's
that we
not-
had a determined number of people.
Right. So, and it's fine to have an open meeting. It's just that we don't want disruption, when it comes to the discussion that the Building Review Committee has. That's the only issue.
But the end result is that we had people that came, that Patty showed up, and a couple other people showed up anyway, and they were actually allowed to talk and participate in some of the opening. We kind of did basically, who are you? And got everybody to just give a very brief background. Then talked about the idea of why are we here. And I would think it's a fair statement to say that the vast majority of people were there because they believe that we really do need a new fire EMS station. The issues revolve around what all do we need, how much do we need, when do we need it. But the good part is that I think we're starting from a common base, that yes, we need something. It's then what is that? We were all then, we had a little bit more discussion relative to what are some of the things that we see as goals as we look at this building and at the other things. We were then given the copy of the needs assessment that was prepared back in January from the from Keller and Associates. Then some people chose to take a tour of the facility. A lot of the people had already had tours and didn't do that. And that brought us up to a couple hours. We have another meeting Thursday of this week, and we're going to do a little bit more work on the whole idea of needs assessment. The architect from Keller will be there to talk about some of what that was. And then we're going to move on to things that we want to talk about more in detail. And Chris, you should have gotten a revised agenda to post.
Yes, I
this
did very
afternoon.
late today, so it's
Okay.
going to go up first thing tomorrow.
Yeah, and that was sent to all. And I understand that Rockdale has chosen not to participate.
Correct.
So we'll make everybody aware of that. We're going to see how it all works out and how it goes. And
The reason Rockdale chose not to participate, they're in overwhelming support down there, and they can't find anybody on their board that can spend that kind of time that it's going to take through the summer to put this together. So she just thought it'd be best if they just stayed off of it.
okay. Questions?
Roger?
May I make a comment, please?
Yes.
I think it's time for the town of Oakland to stop paying approximately 50% of the cost of operating the Cambridge Fire Department. And I think it's also time for the village of Cambridge to start paying 50%. And the reason is they build distillery, condominium units that got 3 stories. They seem to want everything that they desire, and they expect the other municipalities to help pay for it. So I think it's their turn to go with 50%. I realize it's set up that way, but I think that's what has to happen. Thank you.
Well, we have an IGA, intergovernmental agreement, between the 5 municipalities. And the share is based on equalized value.
Certainly.
I hear what you're saying. There's been some pushback. Some of the pushback has come from the village simply because their percentage has gone up significantly the last 2 years.
It has.
Yes, because of the equalized value. And the sad part of that is the equalized value has gone up in an area where it's in a TIF district, so they really don't realize any extra tax money from that for a certain number of years, however long that TIF district's set up.
Certainly.
So that's how it is. I mean, we have an agreement, and it's, basically, it's been pretty much the same way from the very beginning in the I think 1952 was when it was originally put
I'm sure
together.
it was.
And it's based on equalized value, and I don't know of a fairer way of doing it,
Well,
but I hear what you're saying.
Well, it is the thing about if this would have gone through, the whole thing would have gone through, and we would have had to borrow, let's say, 3 million or whatever number you want, I think that would have bankrupted the town of Oakland. And we would be servants to the village, to the Cambridge Fire Department forever.
No, that's not the case, Roger.
Okay.
That would have been spread out over a 20-year period for sure,
If not
And
longer, maybe.
if not longer.
Yeah.
And yeah, taxes would have gone up a little bit from that, but just the same, I mean, we would have made sure it's not going to bankrupt Oakland. We
Well-
are in pretty good shape that way.
I can attest to that too. That's, I mean, that's why Susan and I put the budget together the way that we do. It would not have, I understand your concern too.
Oh, yeah.
I totally do. I live in Sun Prairie, land of new schools every other year, so I understand that.
Yeah, yeah.
But we would have been fine. We would have been. But Gene's right. Taxes would have gone up a little bit.
Well, I just think it's becoming, because of this big amount of money that wants to be spent, I just think it's not in the interest of the town of Oakland to try to pay that much to make it happen.
Well, you were at the open house that night.
Yes,
I
I did.
remember talking to you there. I think you're well aware something has to be done at that station.
Yeah.
Just so everybody knows, this station is the addition and the remodel is very similar to what they did in Fort Atkinson.
Okay.
And 2.5 years ago, they signed a contract down there for 5.7 million. 2.5 years later, ours, which is a little bigger because we got the existing facility we're remodeling, so we got a little more square footage total. But it's, the bid for that is 6.2. So in 2.5 years, that's where these numbers go. You know, if we push this off anymore, it's only going to go up from there.
Oh, yes.
And now, if you look at the price of steel,
Oh, amazing.
yeah, my son-in-law works for a place, uses a lot of steel. He said in the last 4 months, steel prices has almost doubled.
Yeah.
And if we have to get another bid on this building, it's not going to be 6.2.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
Inflation is taking off, even
Yeah.
though our government doesn't want to do anything about it.
Yeah,
It's the same
crazy.
old thing from years ago. They tell you about inflation after it's out of control. And then they put the clamps on. They did back in the early 80s. And, yeah, it's difficult. But I just think it's, the town of Oakland shouldn't be paying such a high amount. I realize it's based on valuations, but I think.
Well, the area that the Cambridge Fire Commission serves in Oakland is more than twice as populated as this village of Cambridge.
I'm sure it is, yeah.
That's a full-time basis. In the summer, you live close by.
Yeah.
When the seasonal people come up, and many of them do come up for the whole summer,
Oh, yeah.
we're probably 3 times the size of the village of Cambridge.
They come back from wherever they've been
Yeah,
staying.
right.
Warmer areas.
So
Yeah.
people-wise, it's about as equal as equalized value is.
Well, thank you for listening to me.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks, Roger.
Thank you, Roger.
Okay, you want to finish up?
I
Got
think
anything
I'm,
else?
I think I'm done. That brings us up to date, and I think you sent out the minutes to everybody,
Yes,
so,
as I get them from chief, I just forward them on to you guys, so.
Paul, I want to thank you for agreeing to have open meetings. I think that's important. It shows transparency, and it gathers, the most important thing, is full input from all people. And you'll make your best decisions from input from all people that can participate. So I thank you for making that decision, and hopefully we can move forward on a great foot. So, thank you.
Well, hopefully, the suggestions will come at the fire commission meeting and at our town board meetings, all the municipal board meetings.
yeah, I'm truly hoping that everybody is talking about this at their village and town board meetings, and getting feedback at that point along, too, from the other members. You know, there is a point where we do need to have some narrow focus on stuff in order to get this going and stuff, so.
They are planning some tours. They're thinking, they had a list, Deerfield,
Yeah,
Marshall,
there was a-
Atkinson.
Yeah,
Rowan.
we're going to talk about what people want in a way
Yeah.
of a tour and what we would hope to accomplish. Because we have enough work to do that road trips are always fun, but,
Well, maybe not all of them go,
Yeah.
but I really think tours will be very helpful, especially if they got, at Fort, if they can get Darrell there. This is Darrell's third fire station he's designed in his career. This is it. He's going to move to Arkansas pretty soon. But this is his third one. So, I mean, he does know what he's doing when he puts a station together and what's needed.
okay. So we'll be back.
Okay, in correspondence, we've got the court dockets and the plan committee minutes. And we need to approve disbursements.
I'll make a motion that we approve disbursements, beginning with electronic funds transfer to the Wisconsin Retirement System, through and including electronic funds transfer 92772-869 in the aggregate amount of $161,629.40.
Second.
Okay, motion's made and seconded to approve disbursements in the amount of $161,629.40. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Announcements? Anything you guys got? I would say that if you can go to the meeting at the fire station next Thursday night at 5 o'clock.
Yeah,
I
this
didn't-
Thursday night at
This
5.
this Thursday night, day after tomorrow. Do it. If you got a chance to go, I guess I would go. See what's all going on.
I'll be on the 15th also.
Okay, next meeting date. The board review is tomorrow, May 19th. I would like to have a special meeting in early June to discuss the clerk treasurer position. And it would be a short meeting, but I think we need to get going on that early.
I'm assuming we want to do some training before Chris leaves, so he
Correct.
can
That-
use some of that master's expertise to train a new person, right?
Well, now that he's got a master's degree, I'm sure he can set up a Zoom meeting from his home in
It's getting
Las
deep now.
Vegas. So-
Oh, my goodness.
You know, Jimmy, we looked, and there were a lot of, the other day, there were 3 masters in the building, so there obviously.
There were actually,
There were
yes.
2
one
people
time.
that
At
had-
one time.
At one time that had master's degrees, so we told Chris it was cheap.
Thanks for coming, Roger.
Yeah.
So am I.
Thanks, Roger. And.
You got 3 right here.
And Leanne.
That's right,
yeah.
The Lake District,
Yeah.
so, you know.
It's for a guy with a barnyard engineering degree like me, I mean, I'm privileged to come in here.
Chris, do we have anything on the 1st of June for planning? Has anything come in?
We don't, but I won't be here. I'll be on vacation, so,
Well, that's after Memorial Day. Get back in here. Do we need him?
No, not really. We can have a meeting without you. I mean, all we're gonna do is make a decision what to do.
Well, do you
We aren't
have
gonna
input
listen
on
to you
what
anyway.
want us to do?
Of course I have input on what I want you to do. I always have input.
Well,
I would love to be here, but if you don't
Yeah.
if you don't need me here, that's totally fine, or I can share my thoughts ahead of time.
what about the last week of May?
I'm on vacation.
He's gone.
That's
hell?
Memorial
I leave, and that's Memorial Day weekend too,
Oh, okay.
so.
You don't have to grant his vacation, you know.
Well, we already, trouble is, we already did that. I'd hate to rescind it. I wanna keep him here at least till Labor Day. What about the
I can
8th?
tell you, we don't have anything, the board meeting is on the 15th.
Right.
But that following week, that would work for me.
You gone all that week?
Um,
The first week?
I'm gone the 1st and the 2nd, and then, I'm here the 3rd, but then I leave again the 4th, well, I mean, the 4th is a Friday, but,
Why don't we figure on the 8th? Will that work for you guys?
What is it, June 8th?
yeah.
June 8th?
I mean, we could do it during the day too, if you want, if that works.
Well, that's true.
Well, it
We don't have to
depends.
do it in the evening.
You're done with school, right, Jimmy?
Yeah, but I have a summer course, and I gotta check my calendar on June 8th. During the day would be,
Or later afternoon.
later afternoon would be best, I'm sure.
If we wanted to do that, like when we had our road meetings at like 2.
Yeah. What do you think, Tom?
I'm fine. I'm working from home.
That's right, you're still,
I'm back in the office.
you're back in the office.
In June. I could take off.
2:30 is
in the
best, probably.
I could take off in the afternoon, well, depending on what we have going.
Yeah. About the time you said that, then you'd have something going, you couldn't get
I'd
out.
have to look at my calendar. Work calendar.
Why don't we just figure on the 8th?
We'll figure a time later?
Yeah.
Okay,
Shoot for 2:30 or something.
okay. I can send an email out to all you guys and, as a reminder, but the 8th will definitely work.
Can you have the posting for us, the posting that we hired under last? We had a posting that we
Yeah,
we all
so
worked on the posting.
I guess we could, since we're still kind of sort of maybe in announcements, one of the things that Ted and I are working on, not together yet, but my job description hasn't been updated for, I don't even remember what the date is, but for a while, so we're both working on that separately. We can probably have that, you think we can have that done by the 8th?
Oh, yes, yeah, just don't anything more this week.
Yeah, this week is bad for me, but we can have the job description ready by the 8th.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know
Yeah.
what we're hiring for yet either, so.
And we redid the deputies in 19.
Just before we hired Susan.
So
So that one's already
So
done.
we can work from that and,
And we revised yours too, when you got.
No, we didn't.
No.
That's what we're doing right now.
Yeah. We really didn't do that.
No.
we just pulled what we had in the file and said, let's work with this.
Yeah.
Rather than take the time to work through that. So
And you
that's-
got a lot of guidance from myself and Ted and you guys too, I guess.
Yeah.
I did. So, yeah, I'll plan on the 8th, but we can work on a time. Just whatever works best for everybody, we can work on it.
So you and I need to really talk about that next week.
Monday. I leave Tuesday.
Okay. No wonder I drink.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
That was when the beef comes in, I don't know if it happened or not.
You're gonna have to increase the size of your wine cellar the way it looks like.
Yeah, Chris already gives me a bad time about the
That's
fact.
what's true. That's what COVID will do for you.
Yeah.